Hey, everybody, it's your host, Tiffany Haran of Exceptional Conversation. Welcome. Thank you for watching this video. We're so glad to have you. Today, I have a special guest who is in the travel space. I love her oh so much. She's a great friend of mine, and she has a lot of knowledge in regards to traveling and content creation. And so I can't wait for you guys to meet her, Miss NaeLynette.
Hi everyone, my name's Nae. I'm a travel content creator and I have a travel agency. So yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Well, we're excited to have you. Nay, how did you get started like in travel? What made you be like, "Oh, I want to start traveling and, make that my everyday thing and also content creation." How did you get into that?
So initially in high school, I wanted to be fully bilingual in Spanish. So it was like my dream to study abroad in Spain. But my senior year of college, I signed up for a program to go to Spain and Italy, but the program didn't end up working out and it was more expensive than they said it was. And then I just couldn't go.
Mhm.
But I still have my passport. So I was like, oh, I have to travel. I still have to travel even though I have my passport. So that was 2017. But I graduated 2018 and I got my first passport stamp 2019. It was my aunt's 40th birthday. She wanted to go to Jamaica. So that's how I originally started.
Okay.
Yeah, it was my first trip.
Aunt's 40th birthday, first trip to
Yes.
Jamaica.
Yes.
How many people can actually say that they went to Jamaica for their first, stamp?
Right, and it's a really good experience too because it changed my whole outlook because I
Mm,
was like, everybody seems so peaceful. Like they had such a
okay.
simple life, even the kids, and like everybody's so happy. I'm like, there must be more to life because how do we have so much in America, but so many more people are depressed? And they're just so happy with the simple things.
Absolutely. Do you ever see yourself living outside the country?
I do actually. That is one of my goals, on my
Mhm.
bucket list, at least for like a few months, just to experience it.
I would too.
Yeah.
Where would you go?
I don't know. Some island. I feel like I'm an island girl.
Some island?
Yeah, I don't know which
Uh-huh.
one though. I'm like, I don't
Okay. Miss
know.
Caribbean gal?
Yeah, I feel like I'm fake Caribbean, so it'll be an island. I would like aspire to grow my own
Mhm.
garden, and eat
Oh.
from the land. Be
Ooh.
on my like
Okay.
India Arie, Erica Badu type of
Ooh, I like
vibe, you
that.
know?
I could totally see it,
Mhm.
especially with, the braids and like
Yeah, that's how I be feeling. Like I toggle between living like a super glamorous life and a
mhm.
very simple island life.
Mm.
But maybe both, you
Best of
know?
both worlds.
Best of both worlds,
Why not?
That's the thing about, like, financial literacy, it's about freedom.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
it's about choice. You can do both.
You can do both.
Mhm.
It's internal and external freedom.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So you mentioned to us how, you got into the travel space. You needed more, stamps on your passport.
Yeah.
The whole Spain thing didn't work out. So how has the travel journey inspired you personally? And then we'll get into like professionally. But has it inspired you personally?
So, personally, it definitely opened up my mind a lot more. By expanding my physical environment, it expanded my mind as well. I realized how there is no one way to live. There's no blueprint to life because it's different everywhere you go. Beauty standards are different, the way of living is different, the way people think about things, what they prioritize is all different. So I'm like, I can be whatever I want to be. Anybody can. It's
Mm,
no one way to do anything. And that's what I loved about it, and I love exploring different cultures and different things, and, I'm like, I can be free, you know?
mm,
So that's what I loved about it the most. Like,
free.
yeah, I'm like, I don't have to be one type of way because there is no one type of way.
Right.
It's different everywhere you go, every state, every country, it's all different.
Absolutely. And that was honestly the reason why, well, one of the reasons why I decided to take on two languages,
Mm.
why I'm trilingual, because I just have so much love for different cultures and
Yeah.
how things are different outside of the western side of the
It's
world,
way different.
the America. And like you said, like the standards are different, and I just love the sense of freedom
Mhm.
and the identity that you can have. You can be anything you want to be. You can be truly your authentic self.
Yeah, you
No one
can.
is trying to keep up with the Joneses. You don't
No.
have to, portray to be anything that you're not, anyone that you're not. Um, People are just them. They're just who they
Mhm.
are in other
Yeah.
countries, and that's what I like about it. So I agree with you on
Yeah, it's
that.
beautiful and it makes you think about it. It's like, do I want these things for myself or do I want certain things to, keep up with everybody else?
Right.
Because even when I go to different countries, I never bring any designer or anything
Hmm.
because I don't want to look like a tourist for one.
Yeah.
I don't want to stand out, but it's like you don't really need those things.
Hmm.
So it's like, do I really want these things, for myself or is it because of the environment that I'm in?
Mm.
Because nobody else has it in other places. So it's just It shows what you prioritize and what you don't, and just open up your mind. Just the simple things, like coconut water straight from a coconut just makes me so happy.
Absolutely. I had my first experience with a coconut water straight
Oh
from
my
a
gosh.
coconut in Bali. In
Ooh.
Bali.
Isn't it way different?
It's so different, but you know what? When I was in
Mhm.
Bali, there was something very ironic that happened to me. I made a post and I was like, "Put your phone down for 2 seconds and just enjoy the moment." The next day, if not 2 days later,
Mm.
I dropped my phone in a taxi and lost my phone. And
Wow.
I still had, like, maybe 4 or 5 days left on the trip, but I feel like it
Oh.
happened for a reason because it really
Mhm.
allowed me to drop out of the social world and
Right.
be there in the present moment and really just enjoy everything for what it was.
Yeah.
To be able to experience and, like, soak in everything. It was my
Mhm.
first time out of the country too.
Oh, that's
Well,
beautiful.
I mean, except for Mexico, but that's our next door neighbor, California and
Yeah,
Mexico is, like,
like,
you know,
right next
a
door.
hop, skipping away, so
Yeah, it doesn't really count.
it doesn't really count, so that was my first official time
How
back.
was that?
It was great. It was a friends group trip.
Mm.
It was a very fun time.
Bali is a vibe.
It's a
It's
vi
different.
it's definitely a vibe, and you get the best of both worlds in Bali. You can
Mhm.
get that relaxed, chill, I'm just working,
Right.
I'm here to, like, be on my stuff kinda vibe and not really worry about anything.
Yeah.
Or you can be on the other side of, like, "Okay, let's go out,"
Yeah, you
let's
can
go
do
hang outside.
whatever. That's what I love about it. It's very
Yes,
versatile.
yes,
Like, there's a lot you can do.
extremely
That's a
versatile.
country I considered moving to.
Really?
Mhm.
Ooh,
Bali and Thailand, and it's very cheap
it
too.
is. I think I spent probably, like, no more than $450 in 10 days on my
Wow.
entire trip.
I was getting meals for, like, $2, like, fried noodles and everything
Mhm.
with some chicken and shrimp and everything. It was
Ooh,
$2.
I'm getting hungry
It's like $2, right? I was getting some wellness shots, like ginger shots, like freshly squeezed too for $1.
Yes. That's
A
what I
dollar.
love. Imagine waking up to that every single day.
Yeah, and everything was so fresh. That's the thing too I love about traveling and eating out of the country. Everything is so fresh.
It's so fresh.
Like, if you eat seafood, fish, they caught it that day.
Mhm.
They're not eating stuff from a week, 2 weeks, months ago. No, everything is fresh,
No.
and they don't get sick,
They don't get
and
sick.
we're always sick.
They were always sick, and that's because of the foods that we eat, the
Mhm.
chemicals that are in the foods,
Yeah, it's what
everything
you
is
put in your body.
processed. Our body is
Mhm.
our temple.
It
It
is.
really is, and as much as the external
Right.
forces
Yeah.
affect us here, so do the internal
Yeah,
forces
for
as
sure,
well.
and everything we need is already here on the
Exactly.
earth. That's the thing too that I learned traveling. Even being in Tulum, it was this guy, he lived on a garden. He was from, like, another country, but he moved there, and, like, everything he had on his garden is everything he needed.
Mhm.
Any medication or anything, he's like, "Get it from the tree, get it from a plant." There was, like, something for everything, and it
Wow.
came straight from the ground.
Wow. Let
Isn't that
food be
crazy?
thy medicine,
Yeah.
and thy medicine be thy food.
Food is medicine.
Food is
You know?
medicine. I've been making a strong effort to eat just fruit, mostly fruits and
Yeah.
vegetables
Mhm.
and water. I haven't had any red
Mm.
meat in a very long time. If anything, fish,
Right.
chicken, but not even like I've been not even eating processed chicken.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
kinda getting over meat right
And
now
then
too.
now too, on top of that, the chicken it can be lab grown. Do you remember that? It got FDA approved to be lab
Lab
grown.
grown? How can you
Mhm.
lab grow chicken?
Lab grown chicken. Just like they have lab grown eggs.
What?
You didn't know that?
No.
You gotta look into that.
You know that Denny's use box eggs?
Ew. I'm not
I'm
going to Denny's anymore.
like, "A box?"
Honestly, I haven't
Like,
been
is that legal? Like, what is
Is
going
it?
like, I don't think so. I'm a fan of mass-produced food.
Mm-mm.
Like,
Not at all.
like, I don't trust it.
Nope.
You know? I like, "No, no, no."
No.
Everything is so fresh everywhere else, though. I'm like,
Yes.
"No."
Everything is so fresh. I went to, they call it El Rancho, like, which is, like,
Ooh.
the actual hometown of the,
Mm,
inner parts of Mexico, not the most, like, populated city areas. So, El
mm.
Rancho I went to El Rancho in Mexico, and everything was homegrown, everything made
Wow.
fresh. The meat that we were eating was, the cow that had just been or the calf that had just been, unalived,
Right?
but it was
It wasn't
good.
pumped with bunch of steroids.
No, it was not pumped with steroids, it was eaten from the land. It
Mhm.
was eaten from the
As they
land,
should.
and I felt great. I remember seeing, I think there was a lady, she was probably upwards in, I wanna say between 80 to 90 something years old,
Wow.
walking around the town at a great pace too. No
Mhm.
hunchback.
No hunchback,
Straight
no
back.
cane, no cane.
No cane. Straight
I
back.
saw in Benin, I saw it was a group of, like, 4 women, they were all over the age of 120. They didn't even know how old they
Wow.
were. They were all healthy, walking by themselves, no cane, no walker, they were speaking
Mhm.
and everything, just healthy. I was like, "Wow."
Yeah, that's important, and we definitely should get back to that. Is there anything that you've considered, like, taking from the ideas of the other countries and the experiences that you've had to bringing it back to the Western side of the world?
Definitely the food.
Mhm.
So, like, a lot of them grow their own food. Their food, their herbs, things like that, so definitely the processed food, everybody knows about it, but, we don't really
Yeah.
know about it that much and how much it affects us, and I aspire to be a herbalist too. Like, I don't really believe in Western medicine.
Mhm.
So, I'm like, I want to have my own herbs and cure for everything. That's
Ooh,
my grandpa, he has a recipe for everything.
wow.
Like, if you need something that's a natural recipe, like, it makes you some cayenne with this, and also just live your life,
Mhm.
and just be simple travel, experience other cultures, experience other things. You just don't know. It's just life is short, but life is for the living. So live your life. It's not just go to work and just work yourself to the ground and die. Like I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
Life is for the living. You should
Def
be happy.
Definitely one thing that I noticed too, which I think that you can touch on too as well, is that they don't work out every single day. They're not lifting
Right.
weights.
But they're fit.
They're fit and they're healthy
Get
and they
outside, move around.
get
They're always
outside.
outside. They're not inside on a tablet,
Mhm.
you know?
So what are some of the habits that you've seen, like, that they do just in their daily lives?
I do see that they're very active, so they walk around a lot. They drink water, they drink natural juices. They don't really eat many processed foods, and they spend time with each other. They go outside, they spend time with family, they spend time with friends. They're not just cooped up in the house all day.
Wow.
They actually live life.
Oh my gosh. That I resonate with that so much now.
Mhm.
Quality time
Quality time is big,
and being present.
being very present.
Being present and quality time,
They're
like,
never on their phones. I never really see that.
they're not on their phones, and we underestimate that so much, but there's so much power
Right.
in that.
There's a lot of power in it. When they eat, they're not on their phones, they sit at
Mhm.
a table, eat together, go walk around, explore. They're not just, let me just be on my phone and cooped up and by myself. No, they actually have quality relationships.
Yeah.
They spend time with each other. They do things together. They have like ceremonies. They have family gatherings, friends gatherings. It's not just being cooped up all day.
I like that.
Hmm.
So, what would you say would have been, like, the most valuable lesson that you've learned from your travels in any country, any
Um,
place?
just overall,
Just overall, it could be a specific event that happened.
um, one thing that I did learn and that I want to explore more is the Black experience because people just think about Black people in the US. Like slavery was only in the US. No, there's Black people all over the world. Every single country you can think of, there's Black people that live there. And there's Black communities that live there. And we all have different experiences, but we all come from different places. And that's just so beautiful and interesting to me. And nobody talks about it. Nobody shows it or anything. You never see that. People be like, there's a whole Black town in Colombia, and nobody
Wow.
knew about that.
I didn't know
It
that
was the
either.
first free Black town in the Americas. It's called Palenque, and nobody knows about that. When you think of we only see what society shows us, what the TV shows us, so it's just going and experiencing things for yourself.
Mhm.
Going history is beyond the books. History is there. You can hear stories, of people that have actually heard it, and things that have been passed down, not just whatever is just given to us.
Exactly. Ooh, that's the key word for me right there, given,
Mhm.
because I feel like a lot of the news that we consume today is just given to us,
Yeah,
and no one
for
actually
sure.
does their research on things
No,
like
and
this.
every channel says something different because it's based off of their perspective and their own bias
Right.
of what they want to tell you and how they want to tell it to you.
It's propaganda. Propaganda
Mhm.
for sure, but the fact that people don't do their own research
Right. Nobody
anymore.
does. So many people tell me, "Don't travel here, it's dangerous. Don't do this, don't do that," but they've never been there.
It's dangerous in LA.
It's dangerous everywhere. America is the most dangerous country ever.
If not the most.
Yes, I'm like,
And we have our hands in almost every single thing.
every single
Everybody's
thing.
issues.
I'm like, I can't even feel safe going to my car at night,
Right.
leaving Zumba. Like, I'm
Right.
like rushing to my car, and I'm like, I've been walking around at night in other
Yes.
countries and things like that. I've traveled solo to other countries and felt pretty safe. They don't have guns. We have guns. Like, they
Right.
don't have guns. So I mean, like, you have to be careful everywhere, obviously, but it's so different,
Mhm,
and people are much more loving and accepting,
mhm.
and you just can't live your life in fear, especially
Yeah.
if you don't know. You have to experience it yourself. Like, how can you speak on something if you
Exactly.
never experienced it?
Exactly. No, wholeheartedly. And see, that's why I no, I'm not gonna say you, but that's why I don't tell everybody everything these days.
You can't.
Because like what you think about, you attract, number one.
Right.
And number two, when people make those little we talked about this,
Yeah,
those
the
small
little deposits,
deposits,
the negative
the little
ones,
negative
like
deposits, that goes into your subconscious mind. And eventually you're operating on that frequency. You
right,
start attracting, you start thinking like, okay, all these bad things are happening to me. And then you start
right,
focusing on that and honing in on it.
right.
So just speaking about like safety and stuff like that, like wherever I travel, specifically, there's one person in my life, my family member that no matter where I'm going in the country, out of the country, they will find a way to send me some bad news
Oh my
that
gosh.
happened. And I'm like, okay, but what about the bad news that just happened down the street?
Right, I'm like, there was, like, a million mass shooting. I went to El Salvador, and people like, "El Salvador is so dangerous. That's where gangs started
Mhm.
and this and that." And while I was in El Salvador, I was perfectly safe while there was, like, 5 mass shootings in the US. I'm
Right.
like,
No,
nobody's gonna talk about that.
absolutely. When I lost my phone in Bali, my mom almost lost it. She
It's
almost
like, "Oh my gosh, how are you gonna contact
Yes.
anyone?"
Well, I had my laptop too.
Right,
I was using that to work. I had my laptop, and so I would, do FaceTime and stuff, and I had my iCloud
right.
message on there through the laptop. But when I lost my phone, she couldn't get a hold of me, and plus the time difference when it's
Oh,
nighttime, it's
yeah, it's a
daytime.
huge
It's like the opposite, and so, but
Yeah.
I had the greatest time, and I
Mhm.
felt
Just being
safe.
present.
I was
Mhm.
being present. Also in like Puerto Rico too. When I went to Puerto Rico, oh man,
Mm.
I could put my phone down and not pick it up
Yeah, that's how I
again
feel like
ever.
everywhere I travel to, I'm just like, I could just, live life. But like being in remote villages, even in Benin, like I didn't have service. Like
Mhm.
there was a lot of places I didn't have service, and I'm just like, okay,
Oh well.
whatever.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I'm like I'm here anyways. Like what do I need
Mhm.
service for? Like
Yeah.
whatever it is, it can wait.
It can
It
wait.
can
It
wait.
can wait. That oh my gosh.
That's another thing too, because we're just so hustle and bustle of society. Like
Yes.
everything is right now, right now, right now.
So hustle and bustle right
Relax.
now. Speedy.
Yeah,
Like be patient.
be
Calm down.
patient.
When I don't even get road rage anymore. You know what I do when people have road rage in front of me and behind me? I say I bless them with patience.
Bless you with patience because I'm like, "What's wrong with people? They be so just
Yes.
uptight and just so upset all the time." Like, relax. Like,
So upset.
when I popped my tire, I was like I had to drive a little slow, and then, like, this guy was just like he pulled over the side of me. He was just cussing me out, like, yelling. I'm like, "You don't even know what people going through. My tire is popped, so I can't even go that fast."
Wow.
You're just, like, so upset, like, I did something to you.
Right. And so that's very selfish. I didn't tell you this, but last week I think I might have. But last
What?
week when we were in Atlanta, when I was on my way to the gym, in the evening, I was trying to get over to make my exit off the
Yeah.
freeway. And there was a guy in an old pickup truck, like he was with somebody else in he had somebody else in the passenger seat, and he was speeding up so that I could not get over.
Oh my gosh, I
And
hate when
I'm
people do
very
that.
bold. Um, I
Like,
was
I'm
not
going
about
to get over.
I'm going to get over. So there was enough space for me to get over. So I just made my little entry right in front of him. So when we get off the exit, he speeds up around me, slams on his brakes, and is like swerving in both lanes so that I don't go to the
Oh
other lane to
my
come from
gosh.
around him. He did all of that, stopped at the red light, and then I went around him. He had his middle finger up, the happy finger. And
The happy
I just looked at him, and his girl was in the passenger seat, like, she's like, "No, oh my gosh, stop." And I'm looking at him, and he just had his middle finger up, just, just staring at me. And I rolled my window down. I said, number one, I bless you with patience. And then secondly, I said, "You need love."
Because why are you
I
so
said,
angry?
I told him, I said, "I love you. You need love." Because something is going on in your life
Right.
to where you are putting that out into the world on other
Mhm.
people, and you're not focusing inward on what's really happening.
That is true. And a lot of people do that.
And I gave him one of these,
Not the hand
and then I
heart.
took a picture with the half heart. I took a picture with him.
He's probably so
He
mad.
turned his face when I did that. But I just gave him a heart. I said, "I love you."
What'd he say?
Nothing. He just went on about his day. He sped off.
But he probably needed that
He
day.
probably needed it, even though he
Mhm.
didn't want to admit it, but
Yeah, those are
absolutely.
people that are like that, they need the most love.
Yes.
'Cause and people won't even give it to them because they won't they're just like, "Oh,"
Yes.
They're, like, so offended by it. But those people that need the most love because anger is a secondary emotion. So
Mm,
it's fueled by something else, you know?
absolutely. That's not yeah,
So it could be sadness, disappointment, whatever.
exactly.
So you don't know what people are going through. Usually when they're so angry like that, they're going through something. They're not
Exactly.
happy. You're not happy.
You're
Happy people are not just flipping off random people in
Thank you.
traffic,
Thank
you know?
you. Yes.
You
You're not happy, you're not joyful, and that's why I
know? No.
chose the other side. That's why I chose to tell him that I love him and give him a heart.
Yeah. And that shows
Because
strength.
it does, and that ooh,
That is strength.
girl, strength.
Mhm.
Because I had a coffee cup. I had a metal coffee cup, and I had an open water.
And that would've been a lot easier.
It would have been a lot easier, and that would have been
Right.
right at his window. He would have
Mhm.
been mad at me, but where would that have gotten us?
Right.
Nowhere. And
Nowhere.
so I chose to give him love in that
Mhm.
moment because, like you said, anger is a secondary emotion, and that's
Right.
not the root of why he's deflecting that
Right.
on me. And
Mhm.
it's nothing personal. It's whatever he's going
Yeah, it's
through.
nothing personal. Nothing is
Yeah,
ever personal,
absolutely.
you know?
Absolutely.
You don't even know what made him upset that day or whatever.
Oh,
But that shows strength within you,
thank
you know?
you. Oh
And
my
I love
gosh.
that for you.
I
I
received
love that
that.
for you, because that's beautiful. It's like everybody does the let me react, let me respond,
Mhm. Mhm.
But to see something different, it's like, wow, you probably changed his whole perspective on people,
I
you
might
know?
have. I don't know how
It's
that
like,
impacted
wow.
him, but
Yeah, that could have really impacted him. Like, wow, there actually are good people
yeah.
in this world.
Because what he was looking to get out of me was a reaction.
Right.
And he almost got it, but in a split second, I was like, "You know what? No. I'm gonna do the opposite of what he wants me to do."
Yeah. It might made him rethink his life.
Ooh. Come on, life
Mm.
transformation
Life
with a
transformation.
heart.
Right, with a heart. Like, maybe he'll get somebody a heart next time
Yes.
instead of flipping them off.
I love
Like,
that. I love that for him. Kudos to him.
um,
Okay, so as a female traveler, we talked about this, a black female traveler and entrepreneur. You are breaking the stereotypes of,
mm,
like you said, everyone just thinks that, there's not many black travelers, black content creators.
right,
So how are you like, do you have a vision towards how you plan to, I guess, inspire other young black women who are looking to travel or just travelers in general, women who want to get into traveling?
right. And also to piggyback on that,
Mhm.
a lot of people what you surround yourself with is your normal. That is your normal. And I didn't grow up traveling. I didn't see black people traveling.
Mm,
So, my thing, my normal is black people don't travel. You know? But then being in the travel space and the content creator space, I see so many black people traveling. And it's like, "Oh, this is a thing." So it becomes normalized to me. Who you surround yourself with because people talk about, "Oh, show me your circle. I'll show you, how you'll be. If you're
right.
around all rich people, you'll be rich," and things like that. But it shows what your normal is. Like that's your standard.
Mhm.
That's where the standard is set at. If excellence is a normal, then that's normal for you. That's where you're start at. And even for traveling too, by surrounding yourself with other people that travel and things like that. But sometimes you have to go against the grain because I didn't grow up traveling. I just started like basically 2 years ago because after 2019 when I got that first stamp, I didn't get my second one until 2021. With the pandemic and things like that. So you have to just sometimes you just have to just do it. And like
Mm,
I'm like, this is something that I wanted to do. So I'm going to do that. And I want to be that person that encourages others to take that leap of faith. Sometimes you have to go where there is no path and leave a trail. And so that's something that I want to do for young black women and also just people that want to travel in general because people don't travel because they think, oh, they can't. You know, they can't afford to, but it's also people don't know. So it's the lack of knowledge. So people just assume, traveling is more expensive than it is, especially international travel, because usually domestic travel is more expensive than international. But people don't know that until they see themselves. So I want other young black women to see themselves in me. Like, oh, that's me traveling. I can do that, because I didn't have that. I didn't see somebody doing something, so it's like, "Oh, I can do that too." So that is something I want to do and also focus on beginner travelers because I realize a lot of people don't focus on that. A lot of people that talk about travel, they assume we already have some type of travel knowledge. There's people that don't even know how to go on a plane for the first time, know how to get around the airport, things like that. So just giving people the basic tools and, like, showing them how it's done, kinda like walking them through it and seeing what it looks like, because that's what I did. I looked up, like, everything, like, what does customs look like? What is customs? Like, I asked a million questions, so I'm like, I want to have those answers and to, help people and even hosting my own group trips for people that haven't traveled. I wanna have some for Even people that have never been out of the country, just join a group trip. You don't have people to go with you, join a group trip if other people have never experienced that. You might build lifelong bonds like that. So it's just something different, something that everybody has to experience. I feel like everyone can travel at least once a year. Even if you put $10 a day into a travel fund, that's Starbucks. Not even a meal, because meals these days are like 20,
15,
$30,
20,
right?
50.
Inflation, like it's crazy. So $10 a day, that's 300 a month. That's over 3,000 a year. If you double that by $20 a day, that's $600 a month. You can go to at least one place, two, depending on how you budget it. And also, you can hit multiple different countries and things like that. So it's usually finances, people that are scared. So it's just educating people what traveling actually is, because it seems something so foreign that people just assume they can't do it.
Mm,
And I want to show them that it is something you can do. It's something that you will do, and don't let other people hold you back
mhm.
from it. Whether you don't have people to go with you, you can solo travel, you can join a group trip, you can go with one other person. It's just something just to experience, something different. Most people don't even leave their own hometown, let alone state, let alone country. So, just being able to get out of your comfort zone and they give you a whole different experience in life. And I feel like that's so important.
Absolutely. And in addition to like savings, what are some of the other ways that you empower others to embrace traveling on their own terms and, just traveling the world?
Just in general, like financial
Yeah,
wise.
in general, financial. Like, what are some of the tools that you are currently using to empower others
It's
to do that?
also travel credit cards. Like, once I discovered those, I'm like, wow, there's hotel cards. People talk about plane cards a lot too, but there's hotel cards too. Hilton, Marriott, and there's some that even no annual fee. So it's literally traveling for free. You get the credit card, you spend $1,000 within like 3 months, and you get, I think, like 50,000 or 60,000 points. That's a few free nights stay at a hotel, literally for free. There's no annual fee, and some of them it's only $95 annual fee, and you can let those build up because you're instead of using your debit card, it's not doing anything for you. You're spending the money anyways. If you get a travel credit card, you're getting points for travel. You can use it for flights, you can use it for hotels, things like that, and those are the most expensive things when it comes to traveling. So when you have those, you can travel easier and it's much cheaper. You can save a lot of money too. And you can also plan in advance too. That's one benefit of utilizing a travel agent. Even when I went to Jamaica for the first time, my aunt planned it like a year in advance. We was making payments. Like I was a broke college student. I had just graduated.
We've been there.
I had just graduated. So I'm like, I hadn't even had a full-time job yet. So I was just paying like little, it's probably like $100, maybe 200 like a month. So you pay little by little each month. People don't realize you can plan a trip like years in advance.
Mhm.
It's never like too far in advance to plan. You want to go somewhere in 5 years, you want to plan your 30th birthday, your 40th birthday, whatever, a big milestone. You can start that now,
Right.
and you can start putting it to the side, or you can even like start booking it and pay monthly with a travel agent. That's the benefits of utilizing a travel agent too. You can plan stuff in advance and make payments. You don't have to pay for everything all at once. People think I want to go to Bali tomorrow, like
Right.
next month. No, like you can plan in
Absolutely.
advance.
Mhm.
You can make payments. They even have layaway flights. You can even pay monthly on flights. You
That's
know,
new for me.
so planning in advance.
Come on,
Yeah,
layaway.
layaway. You just look up layaway flights and then you'll find a lot of different ones.
Okay.
So,
I
but I
like
feel like the
that.
main thing is planning, travel cards, and even having a separate travel fund. There's so many different ways and even splitting it. When I went to Jamaica, I had went with my best friend at the time and we split a room, so it was half the cost.
Mhm.
So if you get an Airbnb, you can split it. You don't have to just pay so much. There's different ways that you can do it.
Right, and I love how that ties into financial planning because a lot of people don't necessarily utilize the resources or
Right.
support that's actually there.
Yeah.
We want to do a lot of things on our own, and you don't have to
Mhm.
do it on your own.
You don't have to.
You can make those monthly payments like you said. Now let's be responsible. Let's
Right.
be
Yeah.
responsible. And we can make those monthly payments towards the flights, the hotels,
Right.
or whatever it is, the credit card that you're utilizing. And create a budget and an actual
Right,
plan
yeah.
around what it is that we want to do. Like you said, like you don't have to, come on now. Unless you have the money to do so, are you really
Right.
gonna be going to Bali tomorrow and be
Right.
paying for a
Even if you do
$1,500
have the
ticket?
money, like, you can save money by booking it in advance,
Exactly. Yeah, there's
be responsible at the same time.
be responsible. There's resources and there's also other modes of support that
Right.
we can utilize for a lot of the things that we want to do. And see, that is actually the key to financial freedom. You can
Mhm.
be financially free at any tax bracket. no matter how much money you make. And I learned this through a book. I'm gonna give a book shout out. T. Harv Eker, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind.
I
This is
think I
what
heard of that.
oh my gosh, I think I might have sent it to you.
You might have.
Secrets of the Millionaire Mind was one of the first books that I read when I began my entrepreneurial journey. And what
Mhm.
I learned in that book, this is the first financial lesson that I learned, was to create different accounts for the income that I retrieve. And this is how
Mm.
you actually become financially free no matter how much income you have. So what
Wow.
you do is he was his method, and there's different methods for it, but his method
Right.
specifically was you take 50% of the income that you generate, that goes towards your necessities.
Mhm.
10% goes toward long-term savings. 10% goes towards education. 10% goes towards giving. 10%
Mm.
goes towards play, whatever you want to do for fun. And then another 10% goes towards the actual financial freedom account.
Mm.
And so to break down your finances and to know where everything is going,
Mhm.
that's how you become financially free. And I remember exactly at that time that I started doing that. I come on, college student, broke college student.
Broke college.
So every time I would get income, I would take
Right.
it and I would divide it into those accounts. Now I didn't open up a separate bank account for each one.
Right.
What I did was I went to the bank and I said, I'm gonna need 6 envelopes. And I
Mhm.
want you to give me a set amount of, let's say, for example, $125.17 five
Mm.
times.
Oh, wow.
I literally broke it down, and they gave me every
Mm.
single penny, every single dollar, and I put it in each
Wow.
account, each little plastic baggie, and
Mhm.
I had a title for it, whether it was the necessities,
Wow.
the play, and I remember my mom would ask me, "How do I always have money for everything?" She was
Mm.
like, Where are you getting all this money? How do you always have money for you have money for something?"
Right.
I'm like, "That's because I know where it's going, and that's
Right.
also because I have separate accounts for them."
Mm.
So, it's not where, like, I'm receiving my money and then it's going in different areas and I'm
Right.
overspending in different areas and I don't know where my money's going. If I only have $125 for that play account,
Right.
I only have $125 for that
Mhm.
play account for the
Discipline.
month. Discipline. And if I'm not gonna spend it that month, that's fine. I'm not gonna spend it and it's gonna add up.
Right.
And so that's how you have money for everything. And
Mhm.
that's financially being financially free. Yeah.
Dave Ramsey talks about that too, the envelope method.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. T. Harv
Right.
Eker.
That is smart.
It's a great book. It's
Yeah,
absolutely
and
a
it's
great book.
designing your rich life. I saw this series on Netflix called How to Get Rich. But then like when you watch it, it's this guy, I think he's a millionaire, but he's like a financial advisor, something like that. But he talks about designing your rich life because it looks different for everybody. It's like, what is your rich life? What do you want? You know? So it's what you want, and then it's planning for it. Even people that are millionaires, they know where their money is going because you can be broke, living paycheck to paycheck with $1 million.
Exactly.
If you're spending it all, then, and overspending. So that's something that I'm realizing too, that budgeting is so important. You have to know where things are going because money goes by really fast.
Mhm.
Really fast. And then people think they have to just splurge on everything. You don't have to splurge on everything. And it's also when it comes to traveling, it's what you prioritize. You know, a lot of people that travel, they think that a lot of people that travel have a lot of money. They don't have to. They might sacrifice another area. Because people have the money. It's going somewhere. People go to the club, spend thousands of dollars. Go to the same club every weekend. Buy bottles. That's a few $100s. Buy a few $1,000s on shoes, purses. Hair. I seen this girl
Yeah.
charge $1,500 for
A
braids.
Louis belt.
Yes,
Wait,
so
wait, wait, wait.
$1,500
For what?
for
For
braids.
braids?
Braids.
And where who?
Knotless
I
braids.
mean, don't you don't have to say who, but where?
In LA.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yes, I was like, "That's
That's
insane,"
insane.
So it's like, it's what you prioritize. If you prioritize travel, then you'll have a separate budgeting account for travel. You might not eat out as much. See how much you're spending eating out. Okay, I'm cook more meals so I can be able to travel more. Or I'm not going to splurge extra on shopping. I won't be going this place, that place. It's just what you prioritize. They say your money shows what you prioritize. Where your money is going, that shows what you value, you know?
Absolutely.
So it's like, okay, if you value overspending and just shopping a lot, that's where your money is
Mhm.
going,
If you value being unhealthy, your account shows fast
Yeah.
food all the time.
Yeah, your account shows what people value. You just
Right.
looking at somebody's account will show you what they value because that's where
Absolutely.
you put your money is what you value.
And that also ties into self-worth too.
Yeah.
The money that you have in your account and where you're putting the money that does come in, where you're putting it towards.
Right.
That is firmly tied to, actually, it's the underlying reason to a lot of our financial concerns and stuff.
Definitely
Don't worry.
overspending, trying to
Yeah.
keep up with the Joneses
Keeping up with the Joneses.
type of thing, and what you actually need and what is important to you,
Yes.
you know?
Yes. And one thing too, as well is like some people. I'll speak for myself. There was a point in time where I didn't make sacrifices.
Mhm.
So that I
Sure.
could have a better tomorrow. And where
Mm,
we are today is actually the result of the
yeah,
choices that we made yesterday, the day before
very
that,
true.
a year, 2 years ago. So what you do today is going to affect your tomorrow. And if you wonder
Mhm.
why you're finally in that tomorrow and you're like, well,
Right.
nothing has changed, that's because when you were in the present moment of the today, you
Mhm.
didn't change anything that you were
Right.
doing.
That's true because time's gonna pass anyways, like the compound effect. A dirty room can start off with one sock left on the ground, and it's like, "Oh, I don't notice that." Okay, then it's some more clothes on the ground, and it's another thing, but they'd be very small, very subtle. A lot of things add up, but that could be looked at in a positive way too. If
Hmm.
you were the financial habits that you have now, those will add up, and the
Ooh,
the habits and whatever that you do, it all adds up. It's
it all
gonna
adds
compound,
up. Come on.
People be like, "Oh, suddenly, oh, I don't know how this happened." It all started, with something small.
Something small. I have
Mhm.
another book for y'all. It's called The Slight Edge. The Slight
Mm,
Edge. I
gotta
forgot
add
his
that one.
name, but that book is exactly about that. That was another early read. And The Slight Edge is about the little small daily habits
Mhm.
that you put in every single day.
Right.
There's no middle ground. The line is never going straight for
Mm-mm.
our life. It's either
Yep.
it's increasing or it's decreasing.
Yeah.
And so every small habit that you have, like you said, this starting with the dirty sock. Oh, I don't notice that. Then it goes to something else. It just
Mhm.
continues to pile and pile and pile. And
Right.
that's actually a collective result of our efforts
Mhm.
and our habits. So if you do small positive things in each
Mhm.
day, small positive habits, and you change these small things, they're easy to do, but they're also not easy to do.
Right.
Like picking up that sock is easy to do, but it's also not easy to
Right.
do.
Every day.
Yeah, exactly.
You
So
know?
it's the collective efforts that are that create the result over
Mhm.
time of whether you are going to see yourself
Mhm.
in the negative, in the red, or you're going to see yourself in the positive on the up and up, the
Right.
upward trend.
Because it's consistency.
It's consistency.
Consistency is the only guaranteed way to success,
Yes.
and people talk about consistency in a positive aspect, but also in a negative aspect too. Whatever your consistent negative habits are,
Mhm.
they will compound as well,
Yeah.
and that's how your life ends up like, oh, how did I get here? How did this happen?
Mhm.
From those habits that you say,
Absolutely.
and whatever you consistently do, because even your routine, they said not having a routine is a routine.
It is because you're
Mhm.
doing the same thing
Yeah, you're doing the
every
same
day.
thing every day. You just pop up every day and just start your day, then that's a routine.
It's a routine.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a routine. And so I want to backtrack a little bit. How has traveling affected, whether positive or negative, some of the lessons that you had or some of the great positive um, results that you've had? How has it affected your financial decisions?
So, one bad habit that I have when traveling is
Mhm.
that, like, I get really excited. So, a budget just goes out the window. I'm like, "I'm gonna do everything." Like, I am here. I wanna experience everything because I don't know when I'm coming back. So, I realized, okay, I have to plan better, even plan for that. You plan for the unexpected too. Even if you have a budget, plan a little bit more than the budget too,
Mm.
because just in case, because
Mhm.
anything can happen. So that was one negative aspect, but also positive. It also inspired me to be more disciplined in my finances, because I'm like, I want to travel more. I want to do this more, and it costs money, but also costs me being disciplined,
Mhm.
me being intentional of how I'm spending money. So it's not just I can't blow money everywhere. Like, I can't blow money traveling, then I'm blowing money eating out, blowing money on everything, and just even like cooking my meals because just looking at my DoorDash account, Starbucks, I can spend Starbucks like $20 in Starbucks in 2 weeks, a month or something. I'm like, you don't even realize it's like, oh, let me just recharge $10 on my Starbucks card,
Yeah.
$10. You're
What's
like, I
$10
spent how
today?
much? Like I spent how much? So it actually motivates me. I'm like, wow, okay, because you have to take breaks. It's not just life isn't just about working, 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 working. It's just like it inspires me. It's like, okay, this is such a good experience. So now like let me go home and like let me go hard.
Mm.
Like it inspires me to want to work more, and work harder because it's like, okay, I had that relaxation and I want to do it again. So it actually gives you that push, and I just feel so positive. I just feel so good,
The no budget inspires you to do that,
Oh, no,
or
traveling.
okay,
Yeah.
travel the experience.
Right, and it makes me want to be more disciplined so
Okay.
I can, do it more. So, like, okay, the time that I am at home, like, I need to maximize this,
Right.
maximize my budget, maximize how much I'm getting done because I do realize it's much harder for me to work when I am traveling. Also because it's part of my job, so I'm getting as much content as I can. But I also trying to keep up with emails, staying consistent with posting and things like that. So, like, that requires me to planning, and that's also financial planning as well, finances and also just planning overall. So I'm like, okay, let me batch content before I go. Let me make sure I don't have any backlog or anything to do so that I'm not, especially the time differences and stuff. I'm like, let me not, I don't want to come back behind. I want to come
Right.
back like, oh, I'm in a negative or something, whether that's time, whether that's, oh, I spent too much money, things like that. So it's just planning. I feel like planning is very important.
Mm.
And I'm not a spontaneous person anyway. Some people be like, I'm just spontaneous about to go somewhere. Like, I usually plan my trips at least a few months in advance.
I'm 50-50.
Really give me anxiety. I aspire to be more spontaneous sometimes,
Mhm.
but naturally I'm more of a planner
Okay.
because I'm just like, oh my gosh, because I plan all my outfits. I plan out the content that I'm going to get. It's all strategic and it's all very planned. But
Yeah.
sometimes I do want to do a few spontaneous off the grid
Yeah.
trips.
Okay.
Just to live in the moment. Because trying to find that balance of okay, content creation and doing this as a job versus actually enjoying it and living in the moment.
Mhm.
You know, so 'cause sometimes I'll be tired. So
Right.
I'm like,
And then, of course, you don't wanna have all that work piled up when you get back from your trip because you have to
right.
get
That's what I don't
accustomed
want to
to.
do because I'm like, then it's like, oh, should I have went? It's
Right.
like I don't want that feeling of regret.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, let me stay ahead of things so that when I get back, I can actually, get back into the flow. I'm not just like scrambling and like, oh my gosh, anxious, and that just takes away from the whole experience.
Mhm. So planning and preparation is definitely key.
Right.
And one of the most major lessons I've learned is that how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Right.
And it's so literal. When you actually become
Literally.
aware of your thoughts and your actions, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And so if
Mhm.
you're planning in one area, you plan in most areas, if
Right.
not all.
That
If
is
you
true.
are not planning in one area, you're not planning in any of your areas and
Right.
that, everything life is a little bit messy.
Mhm.
Excuse me. So, yeah, how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very true.
Do you have any last minute tips for the audience?
Um, Last minute tips.
Or like what's one like phrase or good line they could take away?
Um, One that I see a lot is that your money will return, but your time won't. So that's why you should travel. But also be responsible. Plan. That doesn't mean just go crazy. You know, it doesn't mean just spend frivolously, but time is going to pass either way, and tomorrow is not a promise. So definitely live your life. Like, life is for the living. Do what you want to do. Do what you enjoy. Try new things. Experience different cultures. You only live one time. So why not? Why not experience it? And don't let anything or anybody hold you back. When you really want to do something, you will do it. There's a will, there's a way. No is not an option. And that just do whatever makes you happy, whatever brings you joy, and do it for yourself, not for anybody else.
I like that. And I like to think too that I like how you said life is to be lived and
Mhm.
it's for the living. And it really is. Life is to be lived. It's
Right.
it's for the living and
Not to suffer.
I tell myself if I'm not living today, I'm already dead.
Yes, if you're just a robot just aimlessly going through life, then what are you
What's
doing?
the point?
What's the point?
You're already dead.
Yeah, literally.
Literally. Literally,
Literally.
a zombie. A
Yeah.
zombie. Literal a
Like
literal
a robot
zombie
just,
walking around.
on
Absolutely.
autopilot. No, like experience life. Like experiences. Like I try to prioritize experiences over things.
Mhm.
Like I like hesitate sometimes like buying something really expensive, but like if it's like 3,000 for a trip, I'm like, oh, that's cheap. And
Yeah.
like 3,000 for a person, I'm like, ooh, that's expensive.
Ah!
It's just whatever you prioritize. Some people, if the bag makes you more happy, then
Mhm.
that makes you more happy.
I'll tap into that for a quick second because I have that too, and
Hmm.
for me, it's a scarcity mindset. And so I always tell
Hmm.
myself, "Okay, spend a little bit more,"
Right.
because it gets me out of that, and it's
Right.
not that I just came up with that, it's due to my past experiences and, like,
Right.
growing up and childhood and stuff like that. But I just spend just a little bit more, nothing too crazy, but I
Right.
spend a little bit more, and then I actually feel good. And then I'm
Yeah.
operating in like, my energy has changed, my energy has
Yeah, it's
shifted,
gonna
and
come
now
back to me.
it's coming back to me, and now I'm operating in that flow frequency, that flow state of where I'm abundant.
Right.
I am, I'm abundant.
Yeah, I'm abundant. I can have whatever I want.
I can have whatever I
I can
want.
do whatever I want, experience whatever I want.
Right. When you're in that relaxed state, then that's when everything
Don't be
flows.
anxious.
Don't be anxious. Don't have that resistant energy, that ooh,
Right. Of
I mean,
everything.
keep within the means,
Right.
but it's definitely how you feel when you're spending the money. So
Right.
it may be okay to buy something that, is considered expensive for
Yeah, if it feels good to you, but don't do it for somebody else.
yes, if it feels good to you, and don't do it all the time.
Yeah. Everything in moderation.
Everything in moderation
You
until
know?
you get to that point where you can pay for it 3 times over,
Right.
then you can go ahead and splurge.
You
Yeah.
feel like you deserve it. You deserve it. You
Absolutely.
know?
Yes.
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself. Come on.
Treat yourself.
That's my motto. So we have a conference coming up Saturday in 2
Yes.
weeks.
2 weeks.
Saturday, November 18th. Are you excited?
I'm excited.
What can the people expect from you? How you gonna deliver at the
How am I
conference?
gonna deliver?
Mhm.
I'm gonna bring you guys some energy, a little energy.
Okay.
I'm gonna host, help you guys get to know the panel a little bit,
Love it.
bring some positivity, because that's what we need.
That's
We
what we
need some
need.
positivity,
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So super excited. They can come
Yes.
and learn all about Miss Nae. We have a private VIP networking
Yes.
that's going to be happening at the last hour. So for anybody who gets their VIP tickets, they'll be able to network
Mhm.
with yourself, myself,
Mhm.
and then also the general admin can just come and learn about
Right.
investing, real estate, insurance, employee benefits for the business owners, taxes, etc.
Right.
Yes, and traveling
And traveling.
might be a little giveaway.
Right.
Mhm.
Little
Stay
giveaway. Yeah, you
tuned.
don't know.
So thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Yeah.
That one right there? Okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today with Miss Nae
Yes.
and myself, Tiffany. This is Exceptional Conversation, where we bring you at least one exceptional thing within the conversation. We hope that you really took a lot away from this conversation. And we look forward to seeing you at the Legacy Conference. Come and see us, come and network with us. We definitely have a lot of knowledge to give, and we are there for you. Okay. We'll see you soon on the next episode and in person at the Legacy Conference. You can find the tickets in our bio,
Yes.
and we'll chat with you soon.
Yes.
Bye.